Hello my friends, Chris here from Cards.n.Colors. Today I would like to share 3 ways of reading a grand tableau with the drums of the tarot. So this is one of the older layouts or spreads that can be used, especially with the Tarot de Marseille, where usually or traditionally only the majors or the trumps are read. So, being 22 cards, it fits that a grand tableau features 7 rows of 3 cards each. So 7 times 3 or 3 times 7 is 21. So there's 1 card left always. So you shuffle the cards, of course, first of all, and then you lay out 7 times 3 cards. There are different opinions on where to start. I personally start in the lower left-hand corner here, going this way, 7, 14, 21. But there are different opinions. You could also start in the upper left corner, going this way, like you would when reading Lenormand. Or you can do something like this, 7, 14, 21, or 7, 14, 21. Just whatever appeals to you, but be sure to stick with it. If you've made up your mind which way you would like to do it, you could even go the Hebrew way in a way and start here or there and go against the direction that we would normally write. But as mentioned before, whatever you choose, stay with it and it's fine. As far as I know, there is no rule or something, no dogma how you have to lay them out. Just make 7, 3 rows of 7 cards. So, and 1 card left here. So let me have a seat and I will show you some guidelines, what you can do with all of the cards, because of course it can be quite overwhelming seeing all the cards at once. And as always with tarot, it all depends on the question, the situation, and so on. So, what are cornerstones in a way, or cards that can guide you through reading this grand tableau? First of all, of course, the 22nd card that's left when dealing all the majors, all the trumps. This is in a way the key card. An advice, something, a message the reader needs to know, or maybe a hint what it's all about. So here we get the Hierophant. And what you can do is then, and we will come across this method in the next versions of the Grand Tableau, is the way I deal the cards from the bottom row, middle, top row. You could imagine, like with Lenormand, the first position, the card in the first position is in the position of the juggler or magician. The second card is in the position of the popess or high priestess, and then the third card would be in the position of the empress, and so on. So if this is our key card here, our starting point, there has to be a link, a connection to the card in the 5th position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the word. Spiritual connection, maybe a therapist, a teacher, a preacher in some way, beliefs, all of this stuff here, and finding your place in the world, feeling whole again. Something like this, so quite a spiritual reading here. As mentioned before, it all depends on the question, as always. So this is one way to start the tableau, and then you can move on. the method I described here with the Hierophant being card number 5 and then the link to the card in the 5th position, you could go on like this. So here we have 21. So the last card. So from the world we get to La Force, the strength, card 11, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So then we would come to the Wheel of Fortune, 7, 8, 9, 10, Judgment. Judgment here is position number 20 to 14, 14, 18, and so on. Interestingly, when you reach the Fool, when you go like this and you reach the Fool, the Fool is unnumbered, so it's 0. So naturally, the reading would stop whenever you reach the Fool because he is 0. And you could do that like this and just say when you reach the Fool, the jumping around is over, it's stopped, and then you can have a look at what does the Fool leave behind and where does the Fool go to. And the Fool representing in a way the significator or the person asking the question. So in this case here, the whole position of the Fool would tell us he or she is leaving behind a stuck situation, moving into more power, empowerment, authority, and so on. This would be underlined, this message here, by the nameless trump or the death card, because the scythe of the skeleton here, the direction of the scythe is towards the hanged man. So in a way, symbolically, the scythe here is cutting off the hanged man, so he is free to move, maybe at work getting a higher position, or maybe reuniting with a fatherly figure, a friend, or the Fool himself becoming more authoritative, more self-assured, more self-aware, whatnot, and more balanced even. So what you do, instead of just jumping around, you can do that, yes, and connect the cards like stepping stones on a journey. But all in all, you read the Grand Tableau, as mentioned before, like a Lenormand spread. So it all has to do with the directions the people are facing, are moving, are looking, above, below, and the sides. So as mentioned before here, the Fool leaving his trapped situation behind, underlined by the skies of death. And maybe if we look behind death, the reasoning behind this letting go or this cutting off could be finding balance again or justice. Maybe something isn't in balance right now, or someone is not saying the truth. So when truth and justice is rebalanced, is gained again, then we are, or the person asking the question can cut off this blocked situation and move on. And when this person reaches the status of the emperor, whatever that means, as mentioned before, it could be the person itself here, or another person related to the person asking the question, then again, peace and balance are restored. Okay, so when reading a Grand Tableau, you can always go to the Fool and see the Fool as some sort of significator. What has to be left behind? Where is the person asking the question heading towards? Another thing, the central card is in this position, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's the 11th card. No matter if you do it this way or that way or whatever, this is always the central card. It's not always the Wheel of Fortune, of course. It depends on how you've shuffled the cards. But this is a central message in a way. So this person here, if we stick with the Fool being the significator, who is in a way trapped, who is not the master of his life, of his actions in a way, we can see that. He's in a treadmill, moving around, feeling that he has no control over this situation. And maybe on an inner level or on a subconscious level, this being trapped here, which is mirrored by the hanged man, has to do with a love situation or a decision that has to be made. If it is a love situation, it would make sense that there's something here with justice and truth going on, not speaking the truth, maybe. Or, again, the sword of justice says, make your decision. Cut through the bullshit, make a decision. Yes. And here, again, you could say, and when doing a grand tableau, be sure to read intuitively that if this is the questioner too, the magician, he feels helpless looking towards the ever-turning wheel. He has his tools, yes, but he is looking towards this wheel of fortune that he feels unable to stop or change direction maybe. And he's hoping for, well, the intervention from above, from an angel or something like that. He wants to be released in a way. Again, very fitting with the hanged man being connected to the judgment card here. A release from this blockage situation. And the magician, who would be able to stop the wheel or change the direction, is connected to the emperor. And we got the message that the fool, our questioner, is moving toward this position, more authority, more self-awareness, being more self-assured and so on. If he would be like the emperor already, the magician would be in control, empowered to change the situation maybe. So there's the central card, there's the fool you can look to. You can always look to the death card, which is interestingly mirroring the position and the design in a way of the fool here, the skies being the stick of the wanderer in a way, and the whole body posture resembles each other. And it's quite interesting that death is the unnamed card and the fool is the unnumbered card. So both trumps in a way stand out from your other trumps which have numbers and titles. So you can always look for death or the unnamed card, and where's the scythe directed to, what needs to be in a way let go of or cut off or whatever. It all depends, of course, on the cards. And again, on the situation and the question. What else? You can look to the first and the last card in the 3 rows of 7. So what is the starting point maybe? In a way, just in a way, it's all not fixed or set in stone. This is the beginning of the situation at hand. This is the here and now in a way, the middle card, the central point, and this is where things might head to. So you can always say like an overall picture, these are the roots of the situation leading to this. So what is this whole process, this whole question, this whole situation or problem, what's it about really? So here we have the Empress and strength. Maybe the empowerment of a woman, if we take it literally. If the questioner is a man, maybe in a way conflicts with his mother, with his partner, or maybe his inner female side, and then the empowerment of that, and then getting in control of your instinct, or again, empowerment here, like we also saw with the Emperor, just in another way. So that's the overall story here. What you can also do is read these 2 corners, like from here to there, and to get from here to there, this and this here plays a part in the whole process here. So here we would have justice against, restoring balance. To get here, balance has to be restored. And here we have, there might be some sort of getting together, maybe healing of the inner child in a way, or with siblings, with a partner, with another person, or unloved parts of oneself. It depends on the situation and the question. And me personally, I think it is important to have a dialogue with the person you're doing the reading for, and with. It shouldn't be just a monologue, you guessing what the cards are about to say or could mean. If there is a dialogue with the person asking the question, you will know exactly if this, for example, is the father, a person at work, a friend, or an inner part of the person asking the question, and so on. If this is the mother, the partner, or the feminine part of the questioner, and so on. So, and if special questions occur regarding special themes of life, maybe you can always look for a card that you think is connected to the theme at hand. For example, of course, love questions here and there. Maybe, movement, journeys, travel, maybe sex, questions about sexuality and passion, and so on. So you get an overall view, and if you feel maybe stuck and don't know where to go, if you can't see the forest from the trees, you can always start again with jumping. So, as mentioned before, our central card here is at the 11th position. So it is number 10. So we could jump which card is connected to the Wheel of Fortune in this specific spread here, in this layout right now. And it's the 10th card, being the Judgment. And then to be released from this ever-turning wheel, what's the connection to that? And then we would get 20 being here, temperance. Find temperance, moderate things, find the right mixture, get back into balance. And then how to get back into balance, you can always look at the cards surrounding this card, but also again jump. So card 14, the Moon. To get back in balance, to get off the wheel, to be released from the wheel and get back into balance, something very deep, something unconscious has to be faced. For example, where I was going is 18. If we jump to position number 18, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, we get to the Fool. So I was telling you that the Fool is 0 or nothing, no number at all. So when you reach the Fool, normally you can't jump anywhere else because 0 is 0. What you can do if you want to, you could take this as a given and say, okay, it stops now. No more answers here or no more jumping around. If you want to go on, you could say that this is the 22nd trump. There is no position 22 because it stops with the position number 21, but 22, 2 plus 2 is 4, so the Fool could be linked to the 4th position, so that it goes on then. But you have to decide for yourself if you like that or not. So that was, well, I hope an understandable, quick review of the Grand Tableau, the first version with all cards open and in a way reading like Lenormand with what's above, what's below, behind, before, directionality, where are people facing, and jumping around through numbers and positions. Let's move on to a second version.